Hey, how you doing? My name is Chi, and I am a local investor here in Durham, but I'm basically servicing many of the more popular markets here in North Carolina. I wanted to address something that I've come across as I do outreach to wholesalers and realtors when I'm trying to find off-market properties. You know, off-market properties are they're preferred by many investors because they're not going to be as many eyes on it, and usually those properties may need to be cleaned out, that sort of thing. They may not have had all of the kinds of things that an on-market property has had, which gives us an opportunity to make a deal on it, because obviously if we're going to do the clean out ourselves, if we're going to rip out the carpets, do all that kind of thing ourselves, we can add some value, and that is how we make money, right? So a lot of investors are going after these sorts of properties. So because we're doing that, we're doing things like reaching out to wholesalers and reaching out to agents. Now, the thing I've come across is that some agents are saying that pocket listings are illegal, and we'll lose them. They want to be in compliance with whatever the policies are from the North Carolina Real Estate Commission. So, as I've heard from a couple of people, I've heard this was illegal. So, of course, I don't want to put anybody's livelihood in jeopardy. It's not what I'm here to do. So, I was tasked by one of these realtors to kind of, if you don't believe me, kind of call the North Carolina Real Estate Commission yourself, and you'll see that what you're doing is illegal. So, of course, I did call. I have a background in journalism, so that's right up my alley to kind of find out what the truth is. And the truth of the matter is that it's not illegal, and I have a recording to prove it that we'll get into now. But it also states why people actually think that this is illegal, and that is the interesting part of this video, is finding out why people think it's illegal and what entity is causing people to think that it is illegal, because there is an entity, and people probably can guess who that entity is. But let's play this this audio clip real quick so you all can hear exactly why this has the thought process that people have around it is interesting. I just think that everybody should inform themselves about it, and here we are. Good morning, this is Chi.
Yes, hello. Just calling back from the Real Estate Commission.
How you doing?
Well, good, thanks. What can I help you with?
I had a question about agents with off-market properties.
Well, we don't really have a definition of off-market. We don't govern how agents have to market properties. That's all negotiable between the seller and the agent or the firm. So off-market is not a term that we even recognize.
Okay. Well,
it's an MLS thing.
Not on the MLS, right?
Well, I guess that's what it could mean. I don't really know. I mean, I've had people ask me about that, what's with this off-market stuff, and I don't know. That's with the board of realtors. It's a MLS category, I'm assuming, or a concept that they came up with. But we don't get into that because agency agreements are all negotiable, and a listing agent could be hired by a seller, and the seller could say, okay, I want a sign in the yard, and I want you to put the house on your website. Mm-hmm. Okay, to us, is it on the market? Yes. Is it on MLS? No. Does that mean it's off market? No, it's on the market. It's just not an MLS. So, these are all MLS concepts that we don't really get into.
Okay. Well, I mean, I had somebody tell me that there's something like called a pocket listing, which I guess is an off market, and that is not legal for an agent to do.
Well, it might not be okay with MLS. They might say that's illegal. but it's not. It's not illegal. It's all up to the seller. So, pocket listings, we don't get into that. We don't have any rule that says you have to put anything in MLS ever. If your seller says, "Yeah, I want you to put in MLS," you put in MLS. It's that simple. So these types of rules are definitely not coming from here.
Okay.
I think they're coming from MLS because they want the business. Basically, gotcha. I guess is what's going on. They want.
So I won't bore you with the rest of that conversation, but as you just heard this gentleman say directly from the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, is that the MLS is pushing this idea that you have to put things on the MLS. Now, is the MLS the person who holds your license? Are they the people who are going to be determine whether you lose your license or lose your job or your livelihood? I don't think so. I mean, I'm not a realtor, but I think that that thought process is probably something that is coming from the MLS. At least this is what I'm getting from this gentleman. So I think that I just wanted to put that out there. So if anybody, especially me, comes to you and says, "Hey, do you happen to have any pocket listings or any listings that have not hit the MLS or that aren't going to hit the MLS that you can work with me on, that I can present an offer on?" You don't say no because that's illegal, or no, I don't want to lose my license or anything like that, because you've heard it here that the North Carolina Real Estate Commission is not saying that you have to do that. It's between you and the seller, and ultimately the seller should be the person that we care most about, not the MLS. It should be the seller who may or may not want to put their property on the MLS. I mean, for us, the reason why wholesalers are people that are getting a lot of these off-market deals is because a lot of the people who are selling these properties, who want to sell their property, don't necessarily want to put them on the MLS. They may be embarrassed about the condition of the property. They may not want to do the clean out. They may have a property that they inherited, and they don't want to embarrass the family, knowing that the person's, the reason I got into this business is because my mother was sick with dementia. Now, people came after her house, and I thought I was pretty interested in that process, and they were helpful. Some of those people were helpful, so that's how I got into it. But had I not been there with my mother as she developed this dementia and lost her mental ability that she once had, she was buying a lot of stuff that she didn't need. She would buy everything in fours. So there was 4 of everything that she bought for whatever reason. That's what she was doing. She wouldn't have been able to clean the house by herself. There were a lot of things that she couldn't do herself. And there are a lot of people who have family members who end up in these situations and they're alone. They don't have, their family there for whatever reason. And these people don't want people trudging through their house, or they don't have the ability to go in there and clean it or do whatever the case may be. So for them, wholesalers are great. Or for them, a realtor who comes in there and understands that is what they want to do, and a realtor who just sends it to their investor buyers rather than putting on the MLS may appeal to that seller. So the thing is to do what the seller wants and not what we want all the time. And to understand the law. So I hope this was helpful to people, because I think for me it was helpful. It makes me feel a lot better knowing that I'm not asking realtors to do something that's going to affect or impact their livelihood. Now, you may have something going on with your brokerage, and that's a different story. I'm not going to get into your brokerage and what the brokers want. But in terms of the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, you heard what the gentleman said there. And that's it. Hope that helps somebody. Appreciate you all listening. I'm out of here.